If Tre Cime de 𝗨𝗨𝗏𝗧 is at the top of your list, but you do not want to deal with the traffic, hassle, parking lots, and crowds, I've got the perfect alternative for you today, my friend, and it is going to give you glorious views of Tre Cime, but with a lot more peace and a lot less stress. Not only that, it actually starts in one of the most underrated plateaus in the entire Dolomites region. Are you ready for this hidden gem? Let's go. I'm not only going to break down this hiking route for you today, but I'm going to give you 5 insider tips that I wish I knew before lacing up my boots and made those mistakes out on the trail. Everything from how to get there, where to park, and also the best secret viewpoint that you're not going to see on all trails. So stick with me, because these are the things that are going to totally change your experience, and you're not even going to believe number 4. It is something I have never recommended on any other hike before, and I've hiked a lot. Let's first break down why this trail deserves attention. Look, Tre Cime is iconic. Personally, I have done the loop where you hike around these iconic 3 peaks and stopped at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏𝗏 with a plate of bolognese, enjoying the views. But the biggest challenge I faced is that the parking lots were crowded. You're sharing this experience with hundreds of other people and just trying to find a moment of stillness where you feel like you can appreciate the place and not just trying to get a quick photo. This location, Tre Cime, gets tens of thousands of visitors every single year. So if you are all up for a hidden gem where you want to get a little bit more off the beaten path, the 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗫𝗃 trail is going to be perfect for you. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗃 isn't exactly high up on the bucket list, but when you realize that this trail is going to give you iconic alternative views of Tre Cime, it could be one of your favorites after all. First, let's break down the trail logistics. This is a 6-mile, 1,300 feet elevation gain out and back trail that is going to give you not only the iconic views, but it is going to give you an iconic experience right out of the gate. I could not believe it when we parked at the trailhead and immediately came upon this beautiful high alpine meadow that was giving me complete Alpe di Siusi vibes. If you haven't been to Alpe di Siusi, it is the highest alpine pasture in all of Europe. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is kind of like Alpe di Siusi's little sister. When you see that first view of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, do not be surprised if you get completely gobsmacked. It is gorgeous. You have acres upon acres of stunning plateaus, trails that will go on for days, interweaving just like what you see in Alpe di Siusi in the Ortisei region. What I love about the 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 hike, you get views the entire time. So when you're doing the loop around Tre Cime, you are just focused on when can I get to that one spot to see that absolutely iconic view. This trail, however, is going to shock you every single step of the way. The first steps when you find yourself along that beautiful alpine meadow are quickly going to turn into uphill terrain, going through farmland, and you're going to see incredible snow-capped mountains that will go on for days. So make sure you don't just focus on getting to the top of 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗃 to get those views. Take time to stop and soak in those views along the way. And not only do you get views for days, you're also going to immerse yourself in a little bit of history, literally having the opportunity to walk past ruins from previous wars and seeing what it was like, getting a sense of it, of being up in these high terrains under completely different circumstances. So what I want to do for you now is, in addition to giving you a lot of the visual candy so you get a sense of how gorgeous this trail is and what these iconic Tre Cime views are like, I'm going to break down for you my 5 insider tips. Insider tip number 1, Google Maps is very, very wrong at one key point. I was making my way from the beautiful village of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 to get to the trailhead, and Google Maps make it seem like a pretty obvious route, some switchbacks driving up to the top of this region, right where 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 begins. You're going to get to a point where Google Maps is going to tell you to go right, and it's going to be very confusing because you're going to see a very clear road veering towards the left, and then to the right, if you squint your eyes, you're going to see a little gravel path, maybe wide enough to fit 2 hikers. That is the wrong way. You want to keep going left, follow the road that you actually see on the map, not what Google Maps shows you to do, because it's going to want to keep deviating you off to take the hiking trail, even though there is a very clear road to get you up to the top where the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 parking lot is. Insider tip number 2, time your arrival. It is really important to know that during the peak season, this main road going up to the 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗃 parking lot is closed during select hours. During the time of recording this episode, it is closed from 10 to 3 p.m. during the peak summer season. Now, personally, I got lucky because I was there to middle of end of May and there was absolutely no issues getting up there, though I will admit I am an early bird and always start my trails early if I can. But the good news is that once you're up there, you can leave anytime. So they only close the road going uphill during the peak middle of the day, but you can descend anytime whenever you're finished with your hike and exploring. If you don't want to deal with waking up early to get to the parking lot in time, your other alternative is you can stay in one of the refugios right up on 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗃, and then you're literally right within the trail system to make your way up to 𝗵𝗶𝗄𝐶 and getting those iconic views. Insider tip number 3, the trailhead is surprisingly easy to miss. When you first walk off the parking lot and get up to the main refugio 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗃 where the plateau begins, you are going to get drawn in like a moth to a flame, hiking through the plateau and reenacting your own version of The Sound of Music because it is iconic. But that is not where the trail starts. It actually starts a little bit to the left past the refugio and instantly starts to ascend. So please make sure that when you are looking at all trails, you are starting exactly where the trailhead begins, veering off to the left. But if you decide to take another half hour or hour of your day early in the morning to enjoy 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗃, which I highly recommend, do so because it is absolutely stunning, either to start your hike or take some time afterwards and just enjoy the leisurely meadows after you've experienced Tre Cime from this alternative vantage point. Insider tip number 4, stop short of the summit. Now, normally if I'm planning to bag a peak, I am all about getting to the top of that mountain to check one off of my list. But what's amazing about this trail, as you're in it, you might be wondering, where is Tre Cime? The trail kind of teases you along the way and makes you think, oh, is that peak it? Is that peak it? Is that peak it? And all of a sudden you're gonna get to this area where the switchbacks get really long, the terrain gets really rocky, you can see the actual top and the end of the trailhead where most people congregate, and you're going to find yourself easily 100 meters away from the summit. You do not need to go all the way to the top to experience Tre Cime, and in fact I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to be sharing those views with other people who know about this hidden gem. All you need to do is when you get to one of the final switchbacks and you're going to start to see the terrain on the right start to flatten out and get a little bit rocky, start beelining immediately to the right, making your way up over the rocky areas, and you're going to see and be rewarded with those gorgeous views. What I love about this is that you are seeing Tre Cime in a way that most people never will. Yes, there is something about the iconic full view where you see each of the 3 peaks distinctively. But when you look over there and you get a sense of the terrain and you know that you have found your own little piece of zen to enjoy those iconic peaks all to themselves, you realize that you found something quite special. And that is something that no other view can match. No other view can beat that kind of feeling. Now, if you feel inclined to go all the way to the top, that you can, but rest assured you're probably not going to be tempted to. When you see how many people like to hang out and aggregate at the top, find a boulder, pull out some snacks, just hang out and enjoy the views and enjoy the rewards of experiencing a trail like this. Insider tip number 5, this trail is the perfect off-season gem. While I was there during the month of May, I kept watching the webcam conditions of Tre Cime, and I noticed that it was always consistently covered with snow, which granted you can do, but sometimes when you're in spring shoulder season, it can actually make the conditions really tricky when that snow starts to melt and turn icy and slick. If you notice in what I'm sharing with you during the time that I went and did this trail, you will see all of the snow that's still covering those iconic peaks. So if you want to come to the Dolomites region and not only want a hidden gem to see Tre Cime, but you are coming in the off season when it's a quieter time, May and October being some of the best months, this is the perfect trail for you to do. Yes, there still may be a few patches of snow, but nothing that you can't easily navigate around. It's one of my favorite all-season trails, but it's also one of my favorite off-season trails that you can do if you're coming during that time of the year. Now that you know these insider tips and what it's really like to hike the 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗺𝗶𝗃 trail to get those alternative Tre Cime views, you can start to put your plans into more motion. Check out the resources that I have below this video for you, including the all trails map for this trail, my Dolomites guidebook to plan out your itinerary, as well as my full Dolomites playlist where I have lots of episodes for you, my explorer, on how to get the most out of planning and the sights to see and how to make the most out of your time. See one of the most beautiful locations on earth. As always, it's awesome to have you on the journey with me and sharing these adventures with you, along with gorgeous hidden gems. If you haven't yet, give this episode some love. Like it, share it, post a comment below the video. Tell me what you loved about it, because it helps other explorers like you see the hidden gems that I cover right here on Explore This. Can't wait to see you on the next adventure. Till next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching today's episode. Take a second and like this video, then subscribe to Explore This so you can get notified on when the next episodes come out, where we're going to be seeking adventure, tasting the world, and discovering everything. So excited to have you with me. I'm your host, Jenna Hanna, and I will see you next time.